there's anyone who are friends to me out there, I have been asking for help. Telepathically and spiritually. But you seem to shut down anyone asking you for help. So you want me to ask you for help in the flesh, with the words of my mouth. What's the difference? I ask you for help. God gives you all the tools to help me. Then you go fuck somebody. Because you think it's a fucking blessing. How dumb are you? Do you know what work is? When God gives you tools to work, then you think when you lose all the shit that somebody took it from you? You was given talents and gifts to help people. And because you like something. See, there is a difference. There's two categories. There's the work God gives you tools for. Then there's your desires that He gives you just for your own pleasure. That nobody should be coveting and wanting destroyed from my life, from your life. Just because they're not getting income from what I got or what you got. I don't have to be abused just because you give me a place to stay. It doesn't give you the right to abuse me. It doesn't give you a right to show your face in my face. You gotta ask for permission for that too. How you gonna ask for permission? You ain't supposed to be in my face in the first place. And you know you ain't supposed to be in my face in the first place. You know you ain't supposed to be in my home. I don't care if somebody in my home likes you here. You ain't even supposed to be here. And you know that, but you don't care because you think you could be with the other person. You ruining my life. You have ruined my life. Don't act like you're so ignorant. You know you cannot fit into my group with your drunk, stanky, smoky self, unshaved, freaking starved like a motherfucker, skinny ass, fat ass, sloppy bitch and bastard. Living in my home against my will for 17 years with my mama, pretending to like my daddy, just so that you could get an inch here and an inch there. All your life you ain't never got nowhere, cause you first thing you did, you refused to do God's work. Your parents taught you to go to school and go to work and make money and learn. And they ain't never taught you to stay in church and stay in God. You a demon? You a devil? You a hypocrite? You a liar? You a thief? You a murderer? You a rapist? Get out of my home. I ain't never accepted you in my home. You're ugly. You speak sexual language while I was a virgin in my home. 17 years old against a 40-something-year-old in my own home. And then it kept going over and over and over. Then I had my own home taken from me because my name wasn't on it. But I lived there since my childhood. Fully paid for. Second fully paid for home. I know what you've been doing, bitch. All you've been doing is thinking that you could kill my daddy, and you did. You murdered my daddy. First off, he went to fucking work. He went to work on a tugboat. He was a captain on a tugboat. He took you in because your fucking first husband would lock your ass up and go mess around in the bars and get drunk. First off, my dad took you in because he was a friend. Now, if you got sexual activities and you make kids, you make kids for two men. My daddy wanted to marry you before you met the other man. You met the other man. You told my daddy. Before that, you told my daddy no. You met the other man. The other man, you were staying with your parents. The other man was a slave to your parents. See, you a dumb bitch. You had feelings developed. My daddy gave you those fucking feelings. And you took it out on that dumb Mexican. Well, guess what? Y'all match. Y'all two dumb people. Now, you try to make it look like my daddy was the one that was retarded. My daddy stayed with his parents. My daddy did his chores and he obeyed his parents and he took care of his kids and he went to work. What you did at your parents' house? You refused to be taken as a wife to my dad. I don't know why. Since he had a job and he had a room and he had a house. You had a problem with him having stuff, bitch. My daddy could have had your sister too. And he did. And then you came along and you made it look like you all love him and shit. You don't know what love is. Why? Because you did not love my daddy in the first place. And you did not stay with the Mexican that you decided to do what you like with. You didn't stay with the Mexican. You kept crying. You kept throwing a fit. He wasn't good enough for you. You wanted to be like every other girl. When my daddy had your sister, oh, that changed your mind. Don't fucking say that. It was your Mexican husband that was the problem. Say what the real problem was. You seen my daddy taking care of your sister, my aunt. You seen him take care of her. Oh, and you didn't know. Oh, you didn't know. You didn't know he would have took care of you like that. You didn't give him a chance. Oh yeah, he gave your sister a chance. Your sister gave him a chance. And they love each other. Now you took advantage of what you seen about my dad. How he would care for your sister because she gave him a chance. You pushed her out of the way. You didn't want him. You wanted everything he could do for a girl. Remember that. I might have been born from inside of you, but I first was inside of my dad. Now really, you were staying with my daddy. My daddy injected me into you. And he wasn't going to let you kill me. Since you stayed with my daddy, he made you grow me inside of you. And you hated it. Because that wasn't what you had in mind. Because you a thief. You are a relationship thief. You could be forgiven for all that for all eternity. But if you keep being the thief, your end is near. I belong to my daddy. And my daddy had a body and a mind and the Holy Spirit. And you didn't even go to church. I'm talking about go to church. You know, bring your kids, teach them to pray. You didn't do that for us. I had to figure this out on my own. Ain't none of your women, for where I come from, ain't none of your men where I come from teach prayer. Because y'all don't understand prayer. Y'all think prayer is just asking for something. Y'all don't understand that prayer is also do what you are told. Yeah, it's called obedience. But prayer is a connection that links God and a person. First, you have to be willing to listen to God. You won't know what God wants you to do if you don't listen to God. Now, after you get the information and the command and the request that God has for you, specifically you, then you are to obey to your best. Continually. Never stopping. Oh, you didn't know you was entering something? You didn't understand that? But you knew that you didn't want the life you had, right? You knew you didn't want that life. God gave you a little bit. You loved it. God gave you a little bit more. You loved it. You obeyed God and He gave you more. You obeyed. You loved it. What your problem is, You keep thinking backwards. You keep taking your eyes off of God. Your problem is that you stop going towards God and you start trying to do for yourself. And you start trying to do by your own ideas and your own thoughts. No, it don't work that way. We don't have to buy nobody shit. We don't have to give nobody shit. Not for myself. Not for my own idea. We don't have to come up with nothing. In other words, God will set up everything. And all we gotta do is do what we like. If we like giving stuff to people, we can do that. If we like accepting, we can do that for people. God ain't about hard slave work, okay? God ain't never about hard slave work. God will supply you the energy to do His work He asked you to do. God will not come up to you and take all you got. You gotta remember, all you got is what He gave. That's all everything is. Right down to even money. Right down to the wicked people. Did He create wicked people? No. The word wicked means they have fallen off the path of life and righteousness. Those are the people who are in the world. If you are in the path, in the light, you are not in the world. You are not of the world. Because your information and your energy is being given to you directly from God. And all God does is He sends energy to you, and He receives any kind of what the body, what the mind, what the spirit wants to get rid of. He receives our weakness, and He loves it. When we're weak in God's arms, He can be gentle to us. And stand a gentle God. It has. Gentility, tenderness about Him. In everything He does. Right down to taking someone's life away. He will take someone's life away in the most gentle form. And you would never expect that someone's death can be so heavenly, since they're connected directly to God. Because when they're dying, and God's there angels are there, and that person dying tells the people around them watching him die or her die that the angels are there, and they're there. They're by his side, her side, and whatever choices you want to make, they can help you come back alive and full of force. If you want to make that one decision inside of your body, mind, and spirit while you're dying, he can send you straight back. If you find any purpose to come back here, he'll send you straight back here. If you really don't have no reason to be here, anything, and what you see on the other side while you're in this halfway state, you want to go there instead? You'll drift off, and this body will be just a body. Problem with that, this body is buried after that or burnt. That's the part that many people have financial problems with. Because on Earth, you need money to bury people. So, we have a huge debt since the beginning of time. Since the first person died. The debt is that the person's left behind to bury that person feels like has this tremendous just weight. Why did they have to see someone die? Why did they have to pitch in with this dead person's body being buried? Why did they have to see this? Why did I guess I asked that myself? Why do I have to see someone die? Why do I have to bury someone? Why do I have to attend the conversations that are needed after the death of a person for burial purposes? Why do we need to have money to do this? There was no insurance plan in the beginning. Yeah, we're back to the burial insurance plans called life insurance. We were on this subject, me and my dad always. He's dead now. The body is gone. So we were hoping but the Egyptians tried this. Placing, well, I had another idea. It's like, that would be a lot of work for the living. God doesn't want that. Okay. No. We're not supposed to keep the bodies of the dead. And any containment. for reviving them or resurrection. We're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to just leave them get buried and get them buried and stick them under the ground. Do you know what it feels like when you have this person is missing? You were there at the death and at the burial or the cremation, but still, that person that you spent your life with, or just known, or was a certain particular area of conversation with you, or someone who joined you in sports or activities, a schoolmate, a mom, an advisor, a dad, friend, husband or wife. So know that God does. He knows all these things. Don't think that that person just died. Okay. Don't think it's just about dying. When someone dies and you miss them in your life. Okay? Don't think that. You miss everything that you had between each other. The activity. Interaction. You cannot miss that person. You cannot miss the person. See, this is your body. This is my body. We can miss our own body. Okay. But to miss another person's body, mind, heart, this is the wrong word. This is the wrong word being used. When you miss someone, you're not really missing someone. You're remembering. Really, when you meet someone that you haven't seen for a long time, you don't tell them, I miss you. You tell them the truth. I remember you. I remember us. And that is the truth. I am happy to meet you again. Maybe you're not happy to meet them again. I think you would be happy to meet them again. I think everyone's happy to meet each other, even enemies. It's just everyone has a different part of life. Just because they're different people in different bodies, meaning not in each other's bodies. That's just it. I remember you. I remember us. And that's a very, since it is the exact truth of this, what usually is said as missing someone, it's refreshing. I mean, I have to focus to want the exact truth, because I know what the exact truth does and how it feels. So on every subject, I always seek for the exact truth. It's very refreshing each time we we just say it, the exact truth, and we feel the exact truth, and we know how to explain the exact truth.